Mike the Wrestling Guy Smith, and you guys are watching On Wrestling. You know what? This video is actually for who's the best wrestler of 2019, and I'm just gonna go off my own list that I made up off of AEW and off of NXT, the two different brands. So number one, I'm gonna say who had a fantastic 2019. I usually wouldn't say this, but I really think that I think Matt Riddle had a great 2019 because you know what he started off with just having a rivalry with Cassius Ohno, and he got big. He got a more of a role. He got more of a role, I would say, because him having a chance to get the North American title with a North American title with the Velveteen Dream and stuff, and I think he had a fantastic 2019 with the Survivor Series and War Game, Survivor Series and his War Games match with Finn Balor. Because I think, and the reason why I'm gonna say he had a fantastic 2019, that's my number one, uh, is because he's done a lot and he's only been, I think he's only really been in for about a year. I would say just a year really. And you know what? I don't hate that they're trying to do something with Keith Lee or anybody, and I think Matt Riddle is gonna become champion at some point. He'll probably become champion once if they ever drop if Adam Cole ever drops the belt, which I kind of doubt. But who knows? He might get a championship match at Takeover. We don't know. But my second match in 2019. I'm actually gonna talk about the women's division. Is I would say my list of names go off. Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Tony Storm. A lot of people had a really good 2019. Why I say Rhea Ripley because she's a fan. You know what? And I'm gonna take a little bit from Wrestling Observer. She is a superhero. She is a literal superhero. And you know what? For only being 23 years old, for only being 23, and she's accomplished so much more, and she's not like everybody else in NXT. She literally cares and loves her. She loves doing it. She loves doing it because you know what? I was worried about what they were gonna do after she left NXT UK and she became the first NXT Women's Champion ever since she came in the Women's Royal Rumble. It was crazy, and I'm just like, you know what? I think she might be the face of the company. I think she might. I think she's taking the brand. I think she's carrying the brand on her back, just like Adam Cole was carrying the brand on his back. But the level of rivalries and the level of competition that she showed, it's unparalleled. It's unparalleled. It's like Asuka when she first showed up. When now that she's gonna go get that, and I think she might go after Becky. I think when she gets to the main roster and she comes to when she comes to Raw, Rhea Ripley's gonna kill it, and I think everybody's gonna love her. I think she's gonna get a massive pop. I think Shayna's gonna get a massive pop on SmackDown, and she's just gonna dominate. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm thinking the rivalry that she's had with Shayna is probably the best women's rivalry since Charlotte and Sasha. And I think this one it's gonna keep going. I think Shayna's gonna want the title back. I think she's gonna get a rematch. I think it's gonna be Shayna is gonna be Baszler against Ripley too. Because the match should have, like I said, she's having a great 2019. And I apologize, guys, it's just a long video, but just gonna explain. And in my number two pick for the women's division, I'm gonna say would be Io Shirai. I think she's had a fantastic 2019 with the matches she's had against Shayna. Even her turning heel is the best thing because she's doing it well. She's just demolishing the competition. I've never she might be in the running for a title match. I think she's had a fantastic 2019. I think that she will develop. I think she'll be better. I think she'll develop better than anybody on the planet. To me, I think she'll have the time to develop. I think she'll do more. I don't know when. I don't know. And I mean, and I'm gonna say this, guys. Even if she becomes, even if she doesn't become a champ like a long reigning women's champ, NXT women or women's champion, she will be a fantastic. She will have a fantastic year, and the future is bright. But my number three pick for the men's division for the fantastic 2019 is my boy, Mr. Bask in his glory, Keith Lee. Why I say that? Because Keith Lee has had a fantastic year. Like I remember when he first debuted, he was fighting. He was just doing against jobbers. He was doing against like local competitors. But soon as he got involved with Undisputed Era and Dominic Dijakovic and having an intense, I think they had the most intense match rivalry, and they respect each other. I think him. I think I'm gonna tell you why I think he's had the most fantastic year out of anybody is because Keith Lee, just like Adam Cole, makes you want to do better. He makes you want to do better than you think. Because Dominic Dijakovic, and nobody really talks about him, and nobody really knows what he possesses. And he's a tall guy. Because the matches that they've had, it was like it's basically like two forces in the WWE. And I think him having that, like him getting that role, him being part of NXT, him kind of building his own self, and he's not really pandering, but he's doing it though. And in my mind, Keith Lee is gonna be Keith Lee is gonna be a champion. He might be North American, he might be a tag champion. We don't know. Because his future's bright. And I think him pushing Dominic Dijakovic, him pushing Adam Cole, him going at the level with Roman, and him even doing the War Games, him having a fantastic War Games, and him having a fantastic like a fantastic invasion angle with Keith Lee, with Roman Reigns, and going after having the greatest matches in Survivor Series, having the greatest match with Roman Reigns and Keith Lee is something we've never seen before. He's a big man, but I think the future is bright for him. I think he might become a champion. I think he might. I think I think it's time. I think not now, but I think it'll be time for him to go to main roster because he is just going to do everything. He's probably gonna want Brock Lesnar. He's probably gonna want somebody, and I think that would be a fantastic match for him. I think, or Seth Rollins. I think him going after Seth. I think him fighting the Office of Pain would be nice. I think Dominic Dijakovic going, just doing something with him. But that's my thoughts with Keith Lee. And I think the number three person who's had a fantastic 2019 in WWE is the man of the hour, Mr. Leo Rush. Why I say Leo Rush is because you know what, he had a bad 2018 going into 2019. I think he had a bad role. He didn't really get that much, but ever since he went and he left and he went to NXT and he's just become a star. Everybody loves him. Everybody loves what he does. He does amazingly well. He's doing what he does, and you know what is crazy, because what's crazy to me is the fact that he's doing something. He's doing something great. He's elevating the brand, the cruiserweight. He's elevating it. He's making people like Angel Garza, Juan and Rafael Mendoza do better. That's what he's gonna want to do. I think he's doing better. I think him being the cruiserweight champion, him having matches like having tag matches with Keith Lee, and him and Keith Lee building that kind of bond would be nice. Because you know what, it's making Gulak want him to do better. It's making Gulak, Tony Nese, Gulak, anybody in 205 do better. And I think it's gonna make NXT UK bring some of their guys for Worlds Collide, because Worlds Collide to me means everything. I think it's gonna, like, if he does get a championship opportunity at Worlds Collide, I think that I think it might be. I think he might want to be the one. I think he might want to have a match with somebody. I think it's going to be a great match. But that's only the future. The future's bright, and I'm gonna say my number five person, my number four person who had a terrific 2019 is Angel Garza. Why I say that? Because Angel Garza, as much as people have given him, as much as NXT didn't think of much of him, and I've read the reports and I've read the press conferences. I've read everything about him. He had a fantastic 2019, winning the cruiserweight champion. Him being the new cruiserweight champion. Him having a fantastic match with Leo Rush. I think that's going to be one match of the year candidate, and I think it's the greatest match in the world to me. I think them having that rivalry is going to stoke something. It's making people want to do better. And my number five match of the year candidate for the women's division is basically I would say basically Candice LeRae. I think she's had a terrific 2019. I think that she's done a lot of stuff. I think she's had a bunch of things. Her being in the War Games, her winning the War Games and Survivor Series, her having a fantastic role. I think she might become champion at some point. Rhea might give her that shot to become champion. I think she should. I think it's time. I think, you know what? It makes people want to do better. It makes, you know what? And Rhea's making everybody do better. And I think Candice LeRae is getting to that point, and I think she might be better ready for the main roster. I don't know. It might be her and Johnny Gargano who go in. I think they might do it together. I think they might go main roster together. But anyway, like I said, that's my fifth pick for the women's division. And my fifth pick for the men's division who had a great 2019, I think it's going to be Adam Cole for the Undisputed Era. Because you know why I say Adam Cole? Adam Cole is one of the best wrestlers we've had in a while. And because he's been on the independence and the indie scene, with him being in New Japan, him being part of Bullet Club, him, AJ Styles, all these guys, and he is something that's not been around. He's a bad guy. And I love a bad guy if you know how to do it right. Preferably Adam Cole. He's a bad guy. He does amazingly, and I'm glad that Triple H and Shawn see something in him. I'm glad that NXT, the universe sees it. They love him, and it's the crowd feeds into it. They're just feeding out of his hand. And because the fact that and you know what? Because nobody really talks about this, and I think him showing up at Takeover Brooklyn 2, Takeover Brooklyn 2 or 3, him showing up at Takeover. Because here's my thing, him bringing Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish together, and them creating it, and then bringing Roddy Strong, made them wanna, like, he made their careers better. They're all flourishing because of him. And I think him going at the rate that he's going, it's unprecedented, but it's not gonna stop, because it makes he's got the company carrying a load on his back and carrying it on his shoulder, and he's waving the flag. He's waving the flag. Finn has started waving it, but he's carrying the torch. And I think because of the fact that he's developing and he's a good bad guy. He's not a heel, but he's a good bad guy. He's a face. And I think because the Undisputed Era have these titles, they're not going to stop having them. And it's just because it's a good year for all of them. It's because he's developed. He's on another level. Like, he can switch gears on you like that. He can switch gears on you. And to me, that's kind of like, well, what do we do? How do we do it? What are we doing here? And this is my thought. This is the end of the game here. This is my thought. Everybody's coming and everybody's going, but he's one of the guys. He's one of the guys in the future that are never gonna stop. He's never gonna want to stop being him. He's gonna be NXT. He's gonna be Mr. NXT. He's gonna be the guy you want in NXT because he's had so many fantastic rivalries and so many battles that he's not gonna stop. Adam Cole is at that level. Like I've said this before, he's not a Triple H, he's not a Shawn Michaels, he's his own guy, and he doesn't have to be. Like Seth Rollins came in, and he's been like Seth Rollins went on that level, and he's developed against him. Even when they had that match together, it was uncanny. It was uncanny because it was similar, but it was at a level that Seth had curb stomps. Adam Cole has last shot. He's the Panama City Playboy. Everybody loves him. This is what he is. He does what he does. And for him to do what he loves to do is ridiculous. He loves it, man. He loves being in the area. He loves dancing with it. He loves playing and dancing with it like a psychopath. He loves it. He loves it, man. And like I said, I think in my number 6 pick, this is just an extra pick for you guys. I think it's Roddy. I think Roddy Strong. I think Roderick Strong. I really think he's had a fantastic 2019. I think he's not had such a good year because he was going through a lot. I think him being a part of the Undisputed Era and him being in tag matches and him winning tag team gold and him actually having a title of his own, which is the North American Championship. I think him having that rivalry with with Velveteen Dream and him defending that title against anybody, against Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic, and coming out on top, and then defending that title in Raw, defending those titles again in Survivor Series, and coming out on top again, because he's not like everybody else. Like I said, I think the future looks bright for him in the Undisputed Era. I think he's going to do well. I think it looks bright for Maria Shapiro. I think her doing something with him. I think she might become champion, or they just might be friends. They're husband and wife, but him being Roddy Strong is like Roddy Strong. Because he's Roddy Strong. So, and and I think Johnny Gargano's had a fantastic 2019. I think him being a part of it, coming back and having a fantastic rivalry with Tommaso Ciampa, their rivalry that they've had, I think is going to be a good year. But anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.